move on and into working with links and lists. Here we have some of the basics for unordered lists. Obviously 2 parts, the unordered list itself and then the list items within it. Here's an example of a basic one. What's neat about the list items is that they can actually contain block level elements, inline elements. They can be pretty complex, and the browser renders them just fine. There is some default padding and margin going on here that you can reset. We'll see an example of that here in just a moment. These are the basics for the ordered list we've already seen. Equally complex they can be. Also, this one not a lot of folks know about, but when you start an ordered list, obviously it's going to start counting 1, 2, 3. And if you then end it and start a new one, you can actually tell the new one where to start counting from. So continuing on here at 4, and it looks something like this. I think that's a pretty neat little trick. Here's some HTML for nested lists. A list can contain a list. So here you have an unordered list with a list item, which also contains an ordered list with its own list items. And when you, this one's actually continuing with multiple, but when you render it, it comes out like this. It's acceptable. There's a different type of list called a definition list. And unlike our standard ordered and unordered list, this one has 2 parts inside, the term as well as the definition. So here we have the definition list starting, and the first term is client, and the definition is defined here. Then we have a term, and then the definition, and so on. And when this renders, it looks like this. I've actually never encountered a definition list in the wild. I think most folks just use tables for these, but this is valid markup. You can actually change the way your lists look, both ordered and unordered. We're starting here with unordered. The properties you'll use to do it are list style type. There's some predefined types in the browser. And if you don't like the options here with the type, you can use the list style image instead. So here are the normal values for type, disk, circle, square, none, and some basic markup. This time we have an unordered list applying the class of circle. So we target circle with list style type circle. The second unordered list had a class of star, and this one's using an image based, and we're pointing to a star image. And here we have the outcome, so using circles or stars, custom images. The ordered list has the list style type as well. So if you don't want to do a standard numbering, which is decimal, you can do leading zeros, upper and lower alphas, and upper and lower Romans. Those are the built-in defaults for that. Here we have a basic ordered list with a class of lower alpha, and then we target that with a list style type of lower alpha, and when it renders it looks like this. Some basic HTML for an unordered list. Nothing, no classes or anything being applied here. Here's the unordered list, as well as the line items are getting margin and padding reset back to 0. So this is a nice cross-browser technique. Then the H2 is getting padding on the bottom. Unordered list gets padding left at 1 EM, and the list item gets padding left and padding bottom. So it comes out like this. It's lining up more to the left than it normally would. So of course you can control all that when needed. Moving on now to links. Again, we've talked about links. We're just going a bit more in depth now. So for main attributes, the href is where they go when they click the link. The title can be used so that when they hover over a link, they get a description of exactly maybe what that link is going to take them to or show them. Tab index can be used to control the tab order. As the user hits the tab button, what gets selected, what gets the focus. And then access key can be used to create keyboard shortcuts as well. So here's some basic markup for some links. So we have inside of a paragraph one link that says shopping cart. The access key here is C, and the tab index is 0. A tab index of 0 removes the element from the normal tab index sequence. The access key of C, you have to watch out for these because basically the actual keyboard command can vary depending on the operating system, or is it the browser? I think it's the browser. So it may be Alt-C or it may be Alt-Shift-C. Just depends on which browser you're using. But here's how they appear in a browser, and you can see the tooltip for title if you hover over the link. This is an example of a link that you can use to send an email message. All you have to do is put mailto as the protocol in front of an email address, and then it uses the query string to set, in this case, the subject equal to webmail. I thought that's pretty cool. Common CSS pseudo classes related to anchors. We have link and visit. We saw all these earlier today. They used to only apply to anchors, but now they apply to a lot more. I think IE9 and greater finally caught on to that.